Fashion.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining another episode of HeSpoke Fashion. I'm your host, Daylon Thomas, and I want to talk to you about this show that has been played out all over social media called Singles on Live with none other than Kendra G. The backdrop of this show is that you have several people that call in during the show attempting to find love for all to see and to enjoy. I must admit that for me, sometimes this show is a train wreck waiting to happen. But from what I understand, people can't seem to turn away from this show, just like they can't turn away from all train wrecks. Now, in the wake of the death of the late Kevin Samuels, Kendra G has carved out quite a niche for herself, as this show is entertaining and seems to occupy the space for those who, in my opinion, would normally tune in to watch Kevin Samuels. My thinking is that she had this show prior to Kevin's show, but in his demise, it left an opening for her show to advance and to progress. Nevertheless, what I want to talk about is one particular episode that was sent to me from a friend of the show. And while we discuss fashion here at HeSpoke Fashion, I did find something in this clip that uncovered a truth about fashion and its abilities. There is an interesting dynamic here on this show. And so listen, if you're not familiar with the show, let me offer a bit of background. So once the person joins Kendra G, she normally asks them a few questions, general questions, I would say, to see where it is they fall in terms of wanting a relationship. The focus then quickly shifts to the audience as they begin to offer their own commentary on the guests who join looking for a date. Now, on this episode in particular, there was a interesting woman on, and in her conversation with Kendra G, she began speaking about a man that was on the show previously. You guys can't even imagine what happened next. The guy was watching and was in the comment section asking to come on to defend himself against what the woman was saying about him. Now, let me tell you, you guys listen, ladies and gents, go check it out. It is hilarious. As a matter of fact, here's a portion of it here. Now, I can't play a lot of it because it involves too much profanity. And this is a clean family show. So AB, I want you to roll the clip for us, but please keep your finger on the censor button because she is throwing those 4-letter words out quickly. So just go ahead and roll that clip, and
you're
we'll
a fine ass man. I promise you are.
Commentary.
But your age rank is unrealistic.
Hold up, stop.
You
Stop you right there.
Mm-hmm.
Unrealistic for you, not for me. What you got to understand is we create our own reality. I can have my own expectations. I can have my own preferences. That don't mean they got to line up yours or anybody else's, because I'm the one living my life, and I'm the one that's going to be who I need to be for the woman I'm going to be with. So if I believe God is going to bring me somebody young, fertile, with a willing throat, that's what I'm going to get. Period.
You believe that?
Absolutely.
Well, I hope the God you serve send you the you thinking about, because by the time you get it, you're dead, because you already 48. You probably still halfway down the pill. So you better make sure your throat is willing, because that's all you're going to have left is a throat. One thing about women, our shit never go dig. Y'all talking about 26, and you looking to control somebody, daddy. You need to grow up and get a woman that can still produce a child and go.
All right, so now, as you could tell, the woman was very combative. And from that conversation, we are able to gauge a few things about her. You know, I want to suggest to you that things can change your life, whether you're single or married. And what I'm about to share with you can help you to change the trajectory of your life. And you know what? That's what I really want to talk about concerning fashion. And that is, first of all, this woman showed a bad attitude. She had a bad mouth. She couldn't receive correction, and she was unable to accept criticism. And like most of us, I want to tell you, for one, that these are things that no matter how much you dress it up, fashion can't cover up. That's right. These 4 things are things that fashion can't cover up. And believe you me, many have tried, but it remains true that no amount of Louis Vuitton, Givenchy, Fendi, Tom Ford, or Dolce & Gabbana has been able to defeat these 4 things. So to all you that have set your sights on joining in on this show as a participant, before you go on the show, I want to suggest to you that you follow these tips that I'm about to offer you. First of all, I want you to go right now. No, maybe not right now, but after you listen to this show, and I want you to check your Instagram, because on the show, she asked for your IG so that people who are interested in you can then go peek at your IG and see if that even makes them more interested and willing to get in contact with you. So again, the first thing you should do is like most of us would do, which is let me check my IG to make sure my IG, watch this, lines up with whatever it is that I'm saying about myself on the show. So a great idea is to make sure that, hey, if you say that you're living a certain kind of life, your IG shows that you are doing that as well. But guess what normally happens on the show with most of the participants? While they are demonstrating that they are concerned about the aesthetics, and listen, this is HeSpoke Fashion, where we tell you to do your best, to dress your best, because dressing your best gives you an advantage. You know, fashion gives you an advantage, and that is what I have shared time and time again on this platform. However, what I want to share with you now is that there are certain instances when the advantage fashion gives you will only dissipate after an initial introduction. Did you catch that? After the initial introduction and the elusive attraction caused by the magnetism of your fashion and stylistic choices has worn off, getting to know the real you may be the problem. And you know what? Herein lies the problem with the show. The audience doesn't get a glimpse of your IG first. They only get a showcase of you in all your glory on camera first. Then, when they view your IG, you know what? Well, sometimes what is happening is that your initial introduction of you on camera overshadows the you on IG. Okay, did you get that? So although you look fashionable and wonderful and amazing on your IG, the person that you showed on the show overrides the person that they see on IG. You know, my uncle, God rest his soul, my Uncle Robert would always say this statement, you know what? I can't hear you because who you are is speaking louder than what you're saying. What he was saying then is the same thing I am saying now. That is, who you are always speaks louder than how you're dressed. And that's why you need to change that. As you can see by the example we have in this show, there's simply some work the young lady must do. I'm going to offer you 3 points today that I believe will help you overcome the obstacles that these 4 things bring about that fashion simply does not cover. Number one is very simple. It's if you have a bad attitude, then there's a layer that we have to unpack. First, we have to ask ourselves, why is it that I behave in this manner? Is it something internal, or do I have a false reality or false sense of reality of who I am? Do you feel as if you are more important than anyone else? If so, your bad attitude is a direct outcome of how you feel about yourself. And while it's good to have a healthy dosage of self-esteem, when it results in a bad attitude, then quite frankly, you have gone too far. If this is you, if you have gone too far in the self-esteem department, then what we have to do is examine how we are feeling about ourselves. Not to be too anecdotal, but a good friend of mine told me this a few years ago. And he said, and I want to shout out to Brother Trevor. Trevor said to me, when people see you high up or place you in high regard, then the way you should see yourself is of low regard and humility. So the next time you look in that mirror, and I don't care how amazing you look, see yourself in a low regard. And when you see yourself in humility, it will help your attitude towards others. Number 2. Secondly, I want you to do, what I want you to do is, and please don't take this the wrong way, but I want you to work on that mouth of yours. That abrasive tone and neck movement and word choice are not working in your favor. You do know there's a reason that the saying goes that, I quote, if you can't say anything good, don't say anything at all, end quote. So I want you to take the time out to monitor your mouth. And I want you to think about the things you say before you say them. And I recommend that if you must say them, simply say them not aloud, but in your mind. And if you wouldn't like someone saying what you're about to say to you, then I want you to decide to not say what you're about to say. Did you get that? Okay, listen, please don't ask me to repeat it. But you know what I want you to do? For what you were about to say, I want you to swallow it. Swallow it, and if it's not good for you, you'll feel it on the inside. You'll feel it, and if you can't digest what you were going to say to someone, that should teach you that what you were going to say was not going to be digestible for anyone else. You know, the inability to accept correction or criticism is one that I admit is one that is a bit more difficult to handle. Why? Because it hurts our ego to know that perhaps someone doesn't believe that what we have worked so hard on is less than perfect. Oftentimes, it is frustrating to hear that your efforts are met with anything other than satisfaction and congratulatory remarks for a job well done. Where is my pat on the back? You know, with all that you are carrying, it's no wonder you aren't able to receive criticism or correction. What gives them the right to correct or criticize me when they don't know what I've been through? Listen, I get it. And just like this young lady, no one has addressed the elephant in the room concerning how she feels. You know, you've dressed yourself appropriately. You've taken great care of yourself only to get on this platform and to be told that men aren't checking for you, but for someone younger than you. And listen, that can be devastating. This young lady, you know, by all appearances is a nice looking woman. And I would surmise that when she heard this young man, this guy who appears to be, you know, I would say a bit older than her, had overlooked her in preference to someone a bit younger. You know what? She was triggered. You heard I said? She was triggered. But can you blame her? No one likes to be told that you are not the object of desire, or that perhaps your time may have passed, and here you are, your last chance at romance, and you hear someone say openly what perhaps you have feared to be true internally. You know, the late Kevin Samuels would often throw caution to the wind when he would opine that your sexual marketplace value decreases as a woman as you get older, while the value increases for men, specifically high-value men, as they get older. Now listen, whether that is true remains to be seen, but again, why not throw caution to the wind and do all that is possible to win in the area of relationships? And listen, do me a favor, please. Stop saying you don't want a relationship or don't want a man when you're actually calling into a singles live dating show. Instead, in order to cope with criticism and correction, here's what I want you to do. And tip number three, I want you to realize, hear me close, you must realize that everyone is not against you. There are those who are genuinely on your side, wanting the best for you. And when they critique or correct you, they're not trying to destroy you, but wanting to help build you up. Yes, it does sound crazy, but sometimes in building you up, you have to tear down in order to build back better. So what if this guy, what if he prefers someone younger? You just keep working on you and improving those things about you that fashion can't cover up. And guess what? Guys like him will rule the day when they let you pass them by. You just wait and see. While Kendra G will continue to succeed with her show, she will be less one participant because you won't have to join her platform to find a man, but men will be looking and lucky to find you. The next time you look in that mirror and you know that you look amazing, don't forget to check the box for those things I shared here that fashion can't cover up, and simply work on them. Listen, that's all I have for you, and I thank you for joining. Remember, this is HeSpoke Fashion, and I want you to have good fashion, good times, and remember, HeSpoke Fashion to you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and remember to follow us here on Facebook. And remember, if no one else tells you this today, we at HeSpoke Fashion love you.
HeSpoke Fashion.